Hello, I'm Rob Westervelt, editor of Chemical Week, welcoming you to the 2018 IHS Markit World Petrochemical Conference. And I'm delighted to be joined by Bob Patel, CEO of LyondellBasell. Bob, thanks for joining us.
Good to be here.
Okay. Start with a general question. Give us LyondellBasell's view of the cycle. Where are we today, and where do you see the market going over the next year or two?
Well, I think the conversation about the cycle has been consuming all of us for the past 2 years. And as the past 2 years have rolled on, because of construction delays and weather events and so on, it seems that the cycle looks smoother and smoother as time has gone on. And that is to say that demand continues to grow globally at very good rates. And it would appear, based on IHS data, that in 18 we'll likely see supply growth exceed demand growth by a couple of percent globally. And more importantly, now in the U.S., these new crackers and polyethylene plants are coming online in 18 and in 19.
Yep. And in terms, how confident are you about the durability of the U.S. advantage? Has anything changed in your view in the last year or so?
No, I think the ethane debate is another one we've been having for a while, and as time has gone on, and with oil prices rising off of the lows in 2016, we're seeing a lot more ethane production from the Permian. In fact, many midstream companies have announced new pipelines, they've announced new fracs. So my sense is that there's enough ethane to meet demand for the announced crackers on the Gulf Coast. And likely there's enough coming from the Permian, from the Rockies, and the Eagle Ford to meet the demand.
Okay. And you guys obviously were early in terms of debottleneck and bringing capacity to market. What's your own investment plan going forward? I know you have some big projects in the pipeline, but you could discuss what you're doing there.
So when you think about all of these projects that have been built, they built cracker and derivatives together. In a way, we did the cracker first through a series of debottlenecks. We did about 3 debottlenecks. And so now we're focused on building out the derivatives, the polyethylene. So in the near term, our focus is on polyethylene in the ethylene-polyethylene chain. So building out polyethylene in the U.S. We have 1 plant under construction today, our new Hyperzone technology. It'll be the first world-scale unit we've ever built with this technology right here in La Porte, Texas. So that is slated to come on middle of 2019. Beyond that, we're building a PO/TBA plant that's already been approved, and we'll break ground sometime mid this year with a startup date of late 21. Beyond that, we're working on a propane dihydropolypropylene project together. We're a very large buyer of propylene today, so anytime we contemplate derivatives, we need to be thinking about where the monomer comes from. And we're basic in the technology there as well. So as you think about our organic growth, first of all, we can deploy across 3 chains. We can deploy ethylene, polyethylene, propylene, polypropylene, propylene, propylene oxide. Our aim is to build where there's either feedstock advantage and where we can deploy our own technology, and it applies to all 3 today. So beyond that, we'll probably think about another polyethylene plant once our Hyperzone technology is up and we've sort of worked through anything we find in terms of the scale up. To continue this aim towards more integration on the ethylene we've already built.
Okay. And is there a view on, would it be North America, Europe, or could it be Asia?
My preference is that on the ethylene chain, we continue to focus in the U.S. because this is where the advantage is. Whereas I think on propylene, although there's more world trade of polypropylene today, we prefer to locate where the market is. And so one of our organic growth projects that we're thinking about is a PP plant in Europe, actually. So, and PO, we could build POSM in Asia through our joint ventures there. So that could also be another possibility.
Okay. And also you've made some inorganic investment news recently with A. Schulman. Talk about the strategy behind that and why you did that deal.
So on A. Schulman, first of all, we didn't go looking for that opportunity, frankly. It came to us. We're already in the compounding business, but very narrow focus. Polypropylene-based compounds, and 95% of our sales go into the automotive sector. So, when we thought about the Schulman opportunity, We viewed it as a way to diversify our presence in the compounding business. They participate in packaging, in medical, building and construction, agriculture, and automotive. They also have polyethylene-based compounds, and they have engineering plastics as well. So, I really thought of this as a way for us to become a full-fledged compounding company, and a way for us to build on our presence in polypropylene compounding automotive today.
Okay. Also, a lot of attention being given to sustainability and issues like the circular economy. And where are you focusing attention there? What is your view on how that will evolve over the mid to long term?
Well, I think as this year has progressed, and even last year, the dialogue around plastics pollution and so on has really increased. And I firmly believe that I think we as an industry have to be a part of the solution. Even though the waste is created downstream and by consumers. And while many converters are also taking an active role, the conversion business is more fragmented. And so our approach at LyondellBasell is that we've announced a joint venture with Suez and a company called QCP, Quality Circular Polymers. And through that business, what we aim to do is collect. Suez will bring fairly clean and segregated polyethylene and polypropylene post-consumer waste. We will then process it through QCP and produce resins that can be used in multi-layer packaging for companies like IKEA and Unilever, Procter & Gamble, and other big brand owners. So I think it's a start. For us, it's one plant in the Netherlands. But my firm view when we did this transaction was that this would be a platform we would build on. And once we sort of perfect this model, we'd like to take it in other parts of Europe and longer term, even in other parts of the world.
Great. Bob, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.